Introverts of Reddit, how do you stay alone but not lonely? I'm lonely. Same here. Most days I feel like an introverted extrovert. I'm happiest around friends, but at the same time social situations exhaust me so much I spend most of my time alone. I find myself wondering if people who have magnetic personalities know I'm wondering how they make it look so easy. Practice. 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 I worked as a tour guide for years. Now I'm a physical therapist. I literally spend my day engaging with people. I could talk to a brick wall if you told me what it was interested in. The key is listening to what they're saying and expanding on that. Don't take over their stories and try not to top them, but tell a similar one if you've got it. Try to vary your humor until you find something that makes them genuinely laugh. Then stick with that, but don't overdo it. Not everything has to be a joke. If you stumble on a topic they are interested in, you're golden. I just try to figure out if I'm actually craving company or just feeling unfulfilled. If I'm actually craving company, I'll have the motivation to text or reach out to someone. Most of the time I figure out that I just need to find something to do. Same here. If I can't work towards a goal I feel unfulfilled. Me too. I'm cool with doing everything alone. It usually means for me, I just haven't found what I want to do. For me, being an introvert means I almost never feel lonely or crave company. I get enough social interaction from life's obligations I guess. Also, cats. Also, social media. 100% this. Introverts avoid loneliness by being introverts. The more introverted you are, the less you want or need to be around other people. Everyone needs a little social contact sometimes, but not much, and the other 90% of the time people can feel free to fuck off and leave me to my books. Being introverted doesn't mean that you don't like to go to parties or out with people. It means that after you do, that you need to be left alone to recharge. There are introverts who have a good social life. It's just that being introverted is often associated to being asocial. My mind is my playground. I can imagine anyone and anything I want, and it's almost real. Any tips on how to do this? Or is it just from lots of practice? Is it always positive? Or can it be dangerous? I fear of learning lucid dreaming is that my dream world will be more real than my awake world. Regular lucid dreamer here. It's never more real than being awake. The only bad part is sometimes you have to adjust to waking up more than usual. The dreams feel more like an authentic memory than a recollection of a dream. So waking up, your brain gets whiplash. Whoa, wasn't I on a boat just now? Oh, I'm in bed. I need to go pee. I'll spend the morning reflecting on how vivid the dream was and what I spent it doing. Seeing if there's any subconscious meaning or if I was just dicking around. It hasn't had a negative impact, but I have gotten sad before when things happen like I meet a woman I feel a genuine level of happiness around her, like I've waited so long for her, and then I wake up and I have to live with the fact that I constructed her entirely in my head. She wasn't a real person. It doesn't mess me up, but I do get self-reflective from it. To be more imaginative, you just have to remove the artificial limiters we are taught to enforce. We are taught to take shit seriously, live in the present, think rational. And that is correct. But it's healthy to just indulge in dumb thoughts sometimes. Pretend your spatula is a sword. Look out the car and pretend you're running as fast as it's driving. I think it helps to have creative hobbies, like art and music. It makes visualizing these concepts easy. If you can draw even a half-assed pirate ship, you can visualize what it'd be like to be standing on one right now, at the top of the mast, surrounded by the ropes, looking down at the deck. Lots of video games kinda. Yeah, that and hobbies I'm excited about and can dump a lot of time into. Just be. Loneliness isn't usually an issue. It's mostly society telling me I need to be dating and socializing, haha. When I meet a girl and start dating though, I find myself making excuses to not hang out since I just want to do my own thing. From society's standpoint, meeting a girl and having kids is much more productive than sitting at home smoking weed in my boxers playing video games, so I'm usually torn between the two. See, the only thing concerning is your weed use, and that depends on whether it's recreational or being abused. But that's just because I had one friend claim they were fine being a shut-in. but they were abusing weed and alcohol, so I just said, do me a favor and keep your schedule, but stop drinking and smoking for a few weeks. Guy felt like shit when sober and started getting his shit sorted. Just make sure you don't use it as a crutch. Have the odd sober period if you're a heavy user, so you can make sure you're actually fine with how things are instead of using to feel fine with how things are, when really your sober brain would go, this is kind of shit. Cats. I have 3. AWW, that's great. Play Sims lol. I haven't played that in a while. Good suggestion smiley face. I have the free play on my phone and tablet, and it's just a good way to unwind and feel connected without really knowing or talking to anyone lol. I usually get enough social interaction at work, running around town, meeting with friends once or twice a week to keep me comfortable. That's pretty much 6 months of social interaction for me that you got going every week. Yep, love how for some people 1 to 2 times a week is considered an introvert. Meanwhile my friends sometimes don't see me for around 3 months to half a year. IDK, I'm just fine sitting here alone. I don't see it as a bad thing. In fact, I'm happy when I can meet my so every day at mine and just enjoy each other's company. I don't really need to meet anyone else. Just that one person meets all my social needs. Of course going out is nice and all. Sometimes I find myself thinking, why don't I do this more, but usually an hour after that thought I start getting exhausted and my mind involuntarily escapes back to wishing I wasn't there. To each their own, but I also find myself being able to trust other introverts more. Like I catch myself being wary around extroverts, or I keep thinking you can't actually enjoy this, but then I just draft this to being wired differently, and if they can't understand my way, I won't understand this. I'm an introvert and very lonely. I spend 8 hours a day studying, I clean my apartment, watch YouTube, and sleep. I wish I had pets, but I'm allergic to both cats and dogs, so I play Pokemon instead. I meet with the guy I'm dating once twice a week, but when I was single, I would just self-medicate and cry. Still do sometimes. You sound like you have a lot of things sorted out in your life, positively. Best of luck with the few things that are left to work on. Someday most of us will find balance. I dunno. A cursory look at society at large suggests that most people don't find balance, but merely muddle through, confused as they've ever been on the day they die. Or we rationalize our own version of balance, and as long as we believe it, we benefit from it. I got used to it, because everyone likes to cancel plans on me. It's hard when you're not a priority yet don't want to point out you were forgotten. Gotta hang on there. Make your own plans. One of the best things I've ever done is solo travel. At first it's scary. You don't know anyone where you are. You don't know what to do. But then you realize that that's what freedom is. You do whatever you want whenever you want. You want to go to a museum on ferry boats? Go for it. You want to eat froyo for every meal? Why the hell not? You want to go to the cinema, which is absolutely amazing when you go by yourself. I prefer it to going with other people at this point. Watching foreign films in their home country is a cool new experience. It becomes less about being lonely and more about you and what you want to do. You don't need to get anyone's opinions. Don't need to check to see if someone else wants to do something. You just go. Before you realize it, you'll genuinely enjoy your own company. Some days you may feel lonely, but they're few and far between the days when you're rolling in your own freedom. Netflix. Sounds depressing, but when I really get into a good show, I could just sit there for hours being entertained. I have schizophrenia, so I'm never alone. Also, introverts are basically programmed to live without much interactions with other humans. We are comfortable with a few friends, but other than that, we prefer being left to our own devices. We don't need to get out of our shell. We are just built differently and lack the need to validate our existence with friends we barely know or often get annoyed with. Saves on drama too when the friendship ultimately fails. I'm just here to take notes cause I don't have friends. I just watch YouTube all day. Talking to myself.